What's up guys, it's Ryan here, and today I'm here with the iPhone 4 late review in 2017. So this phone has been out for about 7 years, ever since 2010, and it's been 7 years, so you might be asking, well, how well has the iPhone 4 held up? Well, let's find out, starting with the design. Design-wise, iPhone 4, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you, it's absolutely gorgeous. You know, two sheets of glass with a metal border that feels super solid. It's just a beautiful design altogether, and I'm glad that the iPhone 8 and the 7s and 7s Plus is gonna integrate the glass back just like the iPhone 4. I'm really glad about that because glass back designs is my favorite design of any iPhones ever. So full marks with the design of the iPhone 4, definitely awesome. Now it's not perfect. Back gets super fingerprinty and smudgy, as you can see in the camera. See, there's a lot of smudges there. Also, its back shatters easily. I did see a lot of broken iPhone 4s on the street, so that's kind of unfortunate. But design-wise, I think I really have nothing to complain about. This is just awesome design that really held up really well. I like it more than the iPhone 6 or 6S, to be honest. I like it just as much as I like the iPhone 5S design. So really awesome design. The only hurdle being the fact that it's 30-pin connector on the bottom. I don't really have that much 30-pin connector. I only have one, which is unfortunate. And I doubt that many people have this either. So if you're gonna get this phone, get the 30-pin connector as well. But design-wise, like I said, nothing to complain about. And how about the display? Well, the iPhone 4 has a Retina display with a pixel density of 326, so same as the iPhone 7, which is pretty crazy. Brightness, as you can see on the camera, it gets really bright. I'm gonna tone it down so it looks perfect. Actually, a little bit more. That looks perfect. Text looks really sharp. Brightness is really high. Colors are beautiful. Absolutely nothing to complain about, and the display has held up really well as well compared to the contemporaries like the Galaxy S, which had really fuzzy displays. I really have nothing to complain about the iPhone 4's display. Really responsive, really beautiful, really bright, great off-axis viewing angles. So overall, full marks with the display. If it can handle the small display, it can absolutely live up in 2017. Although I doubt that many people are gonna live with that small screen because it's really darn small. Web browsing is really cramped, really small. Everything's just so compact, even smaller than the iPhone SE, which is already really small by today's standards, especially when many people are used to big phones like the Moto Expedition. You'll see, compared to it just doesn't compare at all. Moto Expedition is one of the bigger phones. This is one of the smaller phones, and as you can see, there's an absolute massive difference in terms of size. And well, depending on your preferences, you might like the iPhone 4 better, you might like the Moto X or big phones better. I personally like the big phones more than the small phones, but I get why people love small phones because it's really easy to get a hold of. You know, all parts of the phone are easily accessible. You know, you can easily use it with one hand and stuff like that. So absolutely, you know, I do get why people love small phones, and that's why Apple released the iPhone SE last year. So it's a toss-up, depending on your personal preferences. Honestly, do kind of like the refreshing aspect of having a small screen. You know, being able to use it with one hand all the time. It's not a two-handed phone by any means. You can type with one hand easier than you can do with two hands on the iPhone 4. I found the typing is a lot easier with one hand because you can just fly with the keyboard and stuff like that. So display, really good, nothing to complain about. Retina display was a big deal when the iPhone 4 of course came out. It was a headliner feature of the iPhone 4, and it absolutely lives up to that. And you might be saying, how about the camera? Actually, the rear camera is actually not that bad at all. Front camera is pretty bad, but the rear camera actually, it does produce really good photos. Actually, I'm gonna say that. I was actually pretty surprised. I was like, I'm expecting this camera to perform like absolute garbage, and it's not. I mean, as you can see, this is a low light photo in subway. Not bad at all. I mean, zoom in, still a lot of details. So absolutely no complaints. Just a low light photo again. Took it. I don't know when I took it. I think it took it at 11 p.m. So that's really good. Details are solid. Although videos are a little bit lackluster, but it's just fine. It's not like it's unusable. Photos are actually pretty good. It's not gonna destroy the Galaxy S8 or Google Pixel or something like that. Not at all. And of course, not any newer iPhones, but actually it does really solid jobs. I mean, I can use it. I can absolutely use it as a spare camera. Although low light performance, there's a lot of grain, but it's totally fine. Front-facing camera is an absolute piece of crap though. VGA quality. No, I'm gonna say no to the camera. Front-facing camera at least. How about the battery life? Battery life is actually better than I thought. Considering that it's a 7-year-old phone, I can get through a day with moderate or even sometimes heavy usage, web browsing or playing games, the only game available, Angry Birds. But overall, I was actually pretty satisfied with the battery life on the iPhone 4. It's not going to beat any newer phones, but it's solid actually, it's pretty solid. So absolutely no complaints with that. How about the last aspect that's most crucial about the iPhone 4, the performance. Well, if you notice throughout the shot, it's actually not that bad. I expected it to be like a laggy, choppy, frame droppy mess, but it's actually not. It's actually pretty smooth. Aspects like the notification center, you can see it was pretty smooth. Smoother control center, still really smooth. Opening apps, not bad. I mean, certainly usable. I mean, if you get to higher demanding apps like even web browsing, it slows down a little bit. Not bad. Texting, it works totally fine. Looking at photos, as you can tell, it's just fine, totally smooth. Camera, let's load up the camera. That's not fast, but that's totally usable. That's not bad at all. Let's actually take a photo real quick. It's not bad by any means. Did block the speaker, but as you can see, that was not bad by any means. And weather app looks actually pretty quick. That's really usable. I was actually pretty surprised. The A4 processor, yeah, it's obsolete for sure, but it's not a laggy mess by any means. If your needs are very lightweight, if all you do is phone calls or send a couple of texts or web browse or something like that, or even check maps or a clock or weather or take pictures or something like that, or listen to music, it's totally fine for that. I'll tell you that. Even Angry Birds perform pretty well. Loading times are really slow, but actual smoothness was actually really smooth. In fact, I'm gonna probably gonna demo it, but gonna show the mail app. As you can see, it's really fast. Maybe not fast, but at least it loads up pretty okay, I guess. Web browser is a little bit slow though. As you can see, loading YouTube was really slow. App Store is gonna be slow. Not bad though. It's totally usable. Speaking of apps, this is stuck on iOS 7, which means almost no apps are supported, which is unfortunate as all hell. That made me sad though. That was really saddening for me. I wish at least basic apps were going to be there, but it's not. By the way, it's actually stuck on Android, not Android, iOS 7.1.2. There you go. It's probably the latest version that the iPhone 4 can run. By the way, let's demo the Angry Birds. It's gonna take a while, so I guess go get a coffee or something. I guess I'll be back once this loads. It loads really slowly. It's not bad. Come on. It's really slow. Really flicking slow. Okay. But actual games are actually pretty usable. Surprisingly usable. so I have no complaints with that. Oh, is it taking a while? So I guess while that's loading, let's gaze at the beautiful design. I guess. A beautiful phone. Rotate. It's taking a while. Okay. So as you can see, while it's pretty slow, it works. It works. So that's a good thing, I guess. Let's turn down the volume. And as you can see, not bad. I mean, it's not bad at all. And behind the camera is really hard to play. But as you can see, hopefully the camera does its justice. But actually does a really solid job. It's not slow at all. Pretty fast. Audio skips really badly though, as you can hear. Even if the game is continuing, it slows down to a crawl. So I recommend just turn the volume down for the rest of your gaming. As you can see, it's not bad at all. I mean, you can get some solid gaming action. I think I nailed it there. I think I gotta get like 2 stars. Maybe 1 star. 2 stars. Okay. So that was a short gaming demo. Not bad at all. That's totally usable, for me at least. I mean, depending on your priorities, it might be different. But for basic testing, like I said, texting, calling, you can see, it loads messages app pretty quickly. Some aspects of the phone is really slow, but as you can see, it's pure loading. Pretty fast. Maybe not fast, but it's definitely usable. Phone app loads pretty quick though, so that's it for performance. It's up to you to decide if it's good or not. It's definitely slow in 2017. It's not gonna hold up as well as newer phones at all. But if you want like a basic communication device, I picked this up for $30, which is really cheap. For that price, it's a really good spare phone. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did enjoy using it as a spare phone. Having a backup phone like this alongside my main phone, the Moto Expedition. It's really nice phone to use, and also it doesn't hurt that it's gorgeous. So is it still worth it in 2017? Like I said, it's up to you. If you want like an iPod replacement, it's gonna do you just fine. But if you want to use it as, if you're expecting cutting edge technology and best camera, biggest display, most apps and stuff like that, it's not gonna do that for you, unfortunately. But for basic needs, it's gonna do you just fine. Even the battery life, like I said, is pretty solid. So that's about it for the review. Hope you guys liked it. If you guys liked it, give me a like, and if you didn't, give me a dislike. And if you want to see more videos like this, definitely be sure to subscribe. Anyway guys, peace out.